Hey, 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 hey. What's up, y'all? What's good? What is up? What is up? I'm going to turn my camera off, but I just wanted y'all to see my face and see that I am still here out of town. But it's been so long. I was like, does this thing still work? Dear God, can y'all hear me okay? Y'all can hear me? Anyway, we are here for a short while. I know Really B is probably getting ready to go live within the next 45 minutes to an hour. So I ain't gonna be before you long. So hey y'all. Hey Tracy. Hey Tanya. Hey Nares. Hey L Love, my love. Hey everybody. Hey, what's going on? What is up, y'all? I am home. I am home. I am home in Miami. Praise God. Excuse me. That's not the cocoa. Mm. So it's been so long since I did a politics of it all. I have to ask myself, do I still know how to do this? Like, like, do we still know what's going on? Don't get it twisted. We still know how to do this. I feel like so. I feel like I need to come on camera because if I'm not on camera, I feel like I'm not. You know, being me. Like, hey everybody, hey y'all. So we got a couple things going on in politics. I'll save our girl for last. Um, our beautiful black queen, we'll save her for last. But we got two good stories, two, and then we'll get to our girl Katanji. So, um, what's been going on with y'all? Like, I feel like I haven't seen y'all or heard from y'all since God was a child. So I just want y'all catch me up real fast in the chat. Let me know how y'all been. What's going on? I've been busy as heck. So I'll be reading your comments in the chat periodically. So the first story I have is about a sitting United States congressman, a member of the House, who is now a convicted felon, yet he's still sitting as a member of these yet to be United States of America's House of Representatives. Now, y'all got time to put my sis in jail for a false police allegation that didn't hurt nobody but himself. Y'all got time to put my sis in jail or try to put her in jail for 150 days for something that is at best maybe a misdemeanor, but you have a sitting member of these yet to be United States' House of Representatives that was just convicted of not one, not two, but three felonies and is still sitting and is probably refusing to resign. Let me read this story for you all. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy and Speaker Nancy Pelosi both said Friday, that would be today, that Representative Jeff Fortenberry, Republican of Nebraska, should resign from Congress in light of his being convicted of three felony charges connected to his statements to the FBI about illegal campaign contributions. Quote, he had his day in court. I think if he wants to appeal, he can go do that as a private citizen, end quote. Kevin McCarthy said in a press conference Friday from House Republicans' annual policy retreat in Florida. I could have a whole breakdown. Sidebar, I could have a whole breakdown about the annual Republican retreat is in Florida this year and why, but that's a whole nother I ain't gonna even do my girl really be like that. I'm gonna save that for a whole nother live. But we could break that all the way down and you can see what's going on over there. You can see what's going on with all of that. Back to my story. McCarthy said he texted Fortenberry on Thursday night and plans to talk to him today. Quote, I think when someone's convicted, it's time to resign. You think? That's real rich coming from you, Representative McCarthy. Have you taken a look at the Senate Republicans? Have you taken a look at some of these other House Republicans? You got Matt Gaetz still sitting. A mess. Anyway, let me keep going. A federal jury on Thursday found Fortenberry guilty on one count of falsifying and concealing material facts and two counts of making false statements to the FBI as agents investigated a $30,000 contribution to his campaign from Nigerian billionaire Gilbert Shigori. Each count carries up to 5 years in prison. Quote, Congressman Fortenberry's conviction represents a breach of the public's trust and confidence in his ability to serve. No one is above the law. Congressman Fortenberry must resign from the House. That was Nancy Pelosi. And those words from you, Nancy Pelosi, mean zero. Anyway, let me keep reading. Fortenberry plans to appeal, or I should say that's what he told the Nebraska Examiner. Representative Anna Eshoo of California testified on Fortenberry's behalf during the trial. She's a Democrat, okay? Now get this. This is where it gets real interesting. Watch this fuck shit. See, this is why. This is why. This right here, this part I'm about to read right here is exactly why I tell y'all the Dems ain't shit. Okay, let me read this part to you. Hold on. Representative Anna Eshoo testified on Fortenberry's behalf during the trial, praising his character. Why is that important? Because Anna Eshoo is also a sitting member of Congress. But don't get it twisted. She ain't no Republican. She's a Democrat out of fucking California. Oh, yes. The blue is the blues. California. She's a California Democrat. But you down here testifying, or you're testifying on behalf of the character of what is now a convicted felon. That's on the whole other side of the aisle. Because you got all of the time, effort, and energy on these fucktards over here. Priorities. Y'all are over here got time to be testifying as character witnesses and so forth for convicted felons. But real stuff, y'all ain't got time to pass a Voting Rights Act, right? Y'all ain't got time to pass a criminal justice reform act or anything. But you got time to be testifying for a convicted felon. This is what y'all got going on. This is the fuck shit and fuckery that y'all got going on in these yet to be United States. This is what's going on. Let me keep going. Guess who also testified on his behalf, on Fortenberry's behalf? Of course, coming out of hiding, Trey Gowdy, your favorite former United States congressman out of the great state of South Carolina. Oh, yeah, that Trey Gowdy. Y'all remember him. That was one of Trump's henchmen. A mess. We can't make it make sense, Tanya. At this point, it doesn't even make sense to make sense. Okay. Now, Fortenberry, Representative Fortenberry, stepped down from his committee posts in October after he was indicted. It is typical now, it's typical for a member of Congress to resign after being convicted of a felony. Most recently, you had former Republican House of Representatives from California, Duncan Hunter. He resigned from Congress back in 2020 after pleading guilty to misusing campaign funds. So he was later pardoned by his boy Donald Trump, but he did plead guilty. Now, Fortenberry can choose not to resign. He could face disciplinary action, and he can be actually expelled from Congress. But let's see if they got the balls to do that. Let's see if they got the balls to do that. Sorry for that noise, y'all. I'm right by this window. It's real loud. It's right by Main Street. So that's our listen. That is our first story of the day. That's what we start on. So you have a sitting member of Congress who is now a convicted felon, who they got to coax into resigning from the United States House of Representatives. Mind you, he's a Republican, but you have Democrat Congress members of Congress going to go testify on his behalf as character witnesses. Girl, a mess. A mess. A goddamn mess. I can't. This is what y'all got going on though. This is exactly what y'all got going on. Hey, by the way, that's our first story of the day. This is why you can't trust the Dems as far as you can throw them. You cannot trust them as far as you can throw them because left to themselves, they will find a way to fumble the ball. And I told y'all it's about to be a bloodbath in these midterm elections. It's about to be a red wave that sweeps across this country like nobody's business. So, in more news, so now, speaking of resignations and asking for them, people are asking for, people are going as far as asking for Clarence Thomas to resign. Now, I am sure that I remember learning in my US government class and my civics class that although the Supreme Court justices have a life life time appointment, they can be impeached by Congress, if I'm not mistaken. One of y'all gonna check me on that. I'm almost sure about that. I remember reading that. I do believe I remember that. There's a process. Now, I'm not sure that that process has ever happened. I'm sure one of y'all will check me on that. But there is a process. Worst case scenario. So my thing about it, here's what's going on with Clarence Thomas. Hey Tracy, listen, he was just in the hospital. Do us all a favor, Clarence Thomas. Step into the light. Don't walk away from the light. Just walk to the light. Go ahead. Go on. Step into the light. It's okay. But watch this. The Dems will find a way to mess that up too. Because if that happened and there was another spot open, be clear. The Republican members of Congress would lose their mind because then they wouldn't have that supermajority of 6 to 3. They would have just a 5 to 4. Um, they would have a 5 to 4, swing on the Supreme Court. And Justice Roberts is very much a swing vote. Chief Justice Roberts. Anyway, what's up, Clark Kent? So here's what you got going on. Let me read this for y'all so y'all can understand why they're asking Clarence Thomas. Some people are going as far as asking him to resign. Others are going as far as to say if anything comes up from the January 6th attack, any cases make it to the Supreme Court for the January 6th attack, or for anything involving 2024 elections, that he has to recuse himself. All right, so here we go. Senator Ron Wyden, Democrat of Oregon, on Friday said Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas should recuse himself from any cases involving the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol, and if former President Trump runs again, cases related to the 2024 election. Thomas is facing growing ethics questions amid reports that his wife, Jenny Thomas, urged then White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows to make an aggressive effort to overturn the results of the 2020 election. Let me read that again for the people in the back. Thomas is facing growing questions about his ethics amid reports that his wife, Jenny Thomas, urged then White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows to make an aggressive effort to overturn the results of the 2020 elections. And keep reading. Wyden said Clarence Thomas's quote conduct on the Supreme Court looks increasingly corrupt, end quote, in the wake of the new reporting. At the bare minimum, Justice Thomas needs to recuse himself from any case related to the January 6th investigation, and should Donald Trump run again, any case related to the 2024 election. Um, Senator Wyden said. Wyden is one of the first Democratic senators to call on Thomas to recuse himself since news broke Thursday of Jenny Thomas's outreach to top members of Trump's orbit. But critics have been raising concerns that Jenny Thomas's political activity poses an ethically troubling overlap with her husband's judicial position. The 29 text messages between Jenny Thomas and Mark Meadows were a part of the 2,320 text messages he sent or received that Meadows handed over to the House committee investigating the attack on the Capitol. The new reports have also revived scrutiny over a January court ruling in which the Supreme Court blocked Trump's bid to keep administration records. from being handed to the January 6th House Committee. The decision was 8-1 with Thomas as the lone dissent. It's unclear if Jenny Thomas's messages would have been in the White House records being disputed in court. But Clarence Thomas also dissented in a February 2021 decision by the Supreme Court to turn away a challenge to Pennsylvania's election results. Thomas wrote that the decision was, quote, baffling and befuddling. Senator Wyden said judges should recuse themselves from participating in a case if there is, quote, even the appearance of a conflict of interest, and that a, quote, person with an ounce of common sense could see that the bar is met here. Judge Thomas participated in cases related to Donald Trump's efforts to rig and then overturn the 2020 election while his wife was pushing to do the same. He was the lone dissent in a case that could have denied the January 6th committee's records pertaining to the same plot his wife supported. So that's the basis of why they're asking for this. Now, hey, So Jeff. Hey, Miss Baythang. Hey, Jay Parrish. Hey, Spicy Original. Hey, Watermelon Sugar. I ain't see y'all coming up in here. So, so here's the thing. Republicans, first of all, here's what's going on. The fact that the Democrats didn't immediately pounce on this and weren't foaming at the mouth like rabid dogs about this. And the fact that you have Senator Wyden just coming out saying, hey, ain't nobody going to ask this man to recuse himself, shows you their weakness. Because the thing about it is, they're weak. Y'all supposed, hey, Doris, y'all supposed to jump on this. They're supposed to have been jumped on this. The Republicans are going to do everything in their power to keep Clarence Thomas because he's the furthest right as you can get right now. And they need him to keep their majority on the Supreme Court. So they're not going to do anything. Listen, Clarence Thomas could have been sitting in Donald Trump's office when Donald Trump and telling Donald Trump what to say word for word to make the insurrection happen or to try to get people around the country to overturn the election. And they still wouldn't think about putting Clarence Thomas out. Clarence Thomas has had conflicts of interest since he got on the Supreme Court. Since he got there. And so now this is apparently the straw that breaks the camel's back. I guess whatever you gotta say. What you missed? Hey Tabitha, we talked about a sitting member of the United States House of Representatives that is now a convicted felon of not one, not two, but three felonies. And when it came time to have character witnesses, you had Democrat members of Congress going to be character witnesses for this young man who's now a convicted felon and still sitting as a congressman in your yet to be United States House of Representatives. But y'all got time to put my sis Jussie in jail and all this kind of stuff for things that's barely even a misdemeanor. But you got convicted felons sitting on the floor of Congress. Child, you know, so Jeff, I'm gonna get to Raphael in a minute. Imitation is the highest form of flattery. Y'all know I refuse to call that man. He will be Raphael. Your mama name, y'all know I always call him Raphael Cruz. Your mama named you Raphael, I'm gonna call you Raphael. That part. Anyway, so listen, Jenny Thomas has a long history and track record. She's here for all of the conspiracy theories. She's here for all of the right wing agenda. She is noted to be paying into campaigns of some of the craziest yahoos out there. She is known to be a staunch right winger. She believes in all the conspiracy theories. So now all of a sudden, because she is uh, a part of the January 6th thing, now all of a sudden it's a big deal. She's been this way for a long time. Now, should Clarence Thomas be asked to resign and recuse himself? Absolutely. We've been seeing his conflict of interest on the bench since he got there. But the Republicans would rather take rusty razor blades, slit their own wrists, and bleed all over the floor of Congress. Hey Ash, than to have Clarence Thomas leave. The weak ass Democrats aren't going to do anything. Okay, they're not going to do anything to push the issue. So what are you going to have? You're going to have Clarence Thomas, whose wife is going to be in his ear, telling him everything that he needs to do and whatever decisions that he needs to make that helps him look further and further and further off the right wing side, way off the fringes. Hell, I just told you, you have Democrat members of Congress that are being character witnesses for convicted felons on the other side. Now, if you want to know what I think is about to happen, nothing. Is Clarence Thomas going to recuse himself? Absolutely not. Are the Republicans going to demand that he recuse himself? Absolutely not. Are the Democrats going to push the issue and make this a issue? Absolutely not. Clarence Thomas should have resigned years ago. He's had so many conflicts of interest. You can even see it when he in how in his decisions. Like, for example, even the one that we just talked about just now, the whole decision whether or not to the House committee on January 6th should have the access to all of this stuff from the Trump White House. And he's the only dissenting vote. Why? Because your raggedy ass wife is in these text messages and emails. If that is the definition of a conflict of interest, I don't know what is. What do we have to say? We have convicted felons on the House sitting as members of Congress. You got pedophiles and sex traffickers that are still members of Congress. You have crazy people who have escaped insane asylums, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, still sitting in Congress. But y'all want to give the third degree to somebody who's highly qualified and overqualified and more qualified than anybody, um, you know, that's there. Y'all better listen. He did get out the hospital. I just thought he was gonna take a cue and just walk into the light. He listen, go walk and be in the beauty and fullness of the Lord. Please go sit front row at the concert that Mother LaShawn Pace is now having, because she's having a whole concert up there, and I know you want you a front row seat, Justice Thomas. Go ahead and step into the light and hear this beautiful concert that LaShawn Pace is having up there. I know you saw the light. Just go ahead and step in. But listen, even if something like that happened, we just got Joe Manchin to agree that he would, and the fact that there was even a question of him saying that he would vote to favorably or affirmatively for her to be a Supreme Court justice. The fact that that's even in question and you still consider yourself a Democratic member of Congress is, and it's beyond my level of comprehension. But We're talking about if best case scenario, Clarence Thomas goes and steps into the light, go takes a front row seat to the LaShawn Pace concert that she's having up there. You know Joe Biden and the Dems will find a way to mess up getting or pushing another Supreme Court justice in there because Mitch McConnell and his band of merry henchmen will find every loophole in the world to drag that thing out until after the elections, the midterm elections. I'm telling you what would happen. You you can never be sure with Susan Collins. Look at how Susan Collins has voted all since January of 2023. You know how, I mean, 2021. You know how she's voted with the same yahoos like Rafael Cruz and Josh Hawley and Tom Cotton. She votes lockstep and key with all of those nutcases. Even Lisa Murkowski, they have fallen in line. They are not breaking ranks. They are right there alongside Rafael Cruz, Tom Cotton, and Josh Hawley. Please be clear. Because when Ketanji Brown Jackson was getting appointed to the DC Circuit Court of Appeals, they had no problem. But now magically that she's on the Supreme Court just a couple months later, now you found reasons for her not to be on the Supreme Court. But it was okay for her to be on the DC Circuit Court of Appeals. Make it make sense now. DC Circuit Court of Appeals is the court right below the Supreme Court. A mess. She is up for re-election. How I know? Because I remember when Donald Trump first got in there, was trying to bother Lisa Murkowski about voting, and she looked at Donald Trump. She said, "I don't really care about how President Trump feels because my term is not up until 2022, and I don't even know if he'll be in office by then." I said, "Work, bitch." Lisa Murkowski was here for it, and I don't know if she's here for it now. She doing what she got to do to get those Republican votes. Let's be clear. So you have nobody actively. The only people actively asking for Clarence Thomas to resign is progressive groups and a couple of the members of the progressive side of the house. Now, y'all's girl, the leader of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, Senator Jayapal, she had a lot to say, but y'all know she gets on my last good nerve. My last good nerve. Now, our girl, Representative Ilhan Omar, who's a member of the squad, came right on out and tweeted out Clarence Thomas needs to be impeached. She's the only one that has said that. Now, I told y'all that I remembered from my U.S. government class and my civics class, that there is a way to have a member of the Supreme Court impeached. Yes, they have lifetime appointments, but that doesn't mean that they have autonomy and they could do whatever and there's no way to get them out. There is a way to do that. I don't know that it's ever happened. I don't know that there's ever been a Supreme Court justice that has successfully been impeached, but the process is there. Will it happen? Not under this Congress. Please be clear. Please be very clear. So that's what's going on with Clarence Thomas. Now let's go to my beautiful black queen, Ketanji Brown Jackson, because I ain't gonna stay on too much longer. I know my girl really B is getting ready to go live. This is her time slot, so I'm gonna give y'all about another 10 minutes, and I'm gonna let Really B get her time slot back. I'm sorry, sis, for infringing on your time. She gonna cuss me out, y'all. She gonna cuss me out. My sisters can talk just like oh she you know what? I would love to hear Zap Allen. She could talk just like Susan Collins, who talks with a shaky voice and child. Don't make me don't make me make fun of Senator Susan Collins. So we have a beautiful black queen in the form of Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. Her name is Ketanji. Okay, you would think that they're asking these people to speak Arabic, to speak some extinct linguistic, to do some extinct linguistic challenge or something, or speak some language that has gone defunct. The woman's name is Ketanji. It ain't that hard. And some of y'all white people with 35 letters in y'all last name can pronounce that shit beautifully. I'll give you a perfect example. Half these members of Congress that have a problem with that woman's name, I bet you they can pronounce Coach Mike Krzyzewski's name, who's the coach of the Duke basketball team, whose name spells out Krzyzewski, but magically they can pronounce Krzyzewski and get that out of there, let that effortlessly flow off their tongue. But Katanji, three syllables, three syllables, y'all got a problem with that. Make it make sense. Right, they have no problems, no problems pronouncing those names, Tabitha. But Katanji is a problem. If y'all don't go sit the fuck down somewhere, girl, this shit is baffling to me. Just baffling to me. The woman's name is Katanji. Hey, Danny. Anyway, so Katanji had to endure, you know, the third degree and go before a damn near tribunal or something where, political firing squad, if you will, with stupidity and fuckery. Anyway, so the four people at the top of the list of worst human beings in Washington, D.C., decided to take the pulpit and clearly show the rest of the world why they're some of the worst human beings in Washington, D.C. Let us not forget the poster boy of worst people in Washington, D.C. He spoke up first. Who is that? Lady G. Y'all know our girl, Lady G, the sitting member of the United States Senate, who it's been confirmed does lines of coke off of a male escort's penis. That Senator Lindsey Graham out of the great state of South Carolina, the same one who now they're saying has paid tens of thousands of dollars to male escorts, the same one who wants them to call him Lady G, and the same one who tells them to count his ladybugs on his tank because he calls the moles on his tank his ladybugs. That Senator Lindsey Graham got all up in his feelings, going off, blathering about, hey, dog, hey, go sit down. Sorry, y'all. Lady G was gallivanting all over any news outlet imaginable. Lady G was out there screaming from the rooftops, going in on Katanji, trying to demean this beautiful black woman, trying to make her feel lesser than. It's real funny, Lady G, that you feel this way now when just a few months ago, less than a year ago, you voted to confirm this woman to the DC Circuit Court of Appeals, which is the next step underneath the Supreme Court. DC Circuit Court of Appeals is the second highest court in all of America. And you just voted to confirm this same woman to that court. But now all of a sudden the political theater has started and Lady G is feeling herself. And those good ladybugs got up all up in that. They were on full display. She probably had just before that hearing went back to her place where she stays while she's in DC and poured her a good line on the erect penis of her male escort and sniffed that line right off the peen just before he came out there, like just irate, just I mean, literally almost foaming at the goddamn mouth. But now all of a sudden you got a problem with this lady that you just confirmed a couple months ago. Make it make sense now, but I told y'all it don't make sense. It makes sense. Then you got y'all's boy, Raphael Cruz, straight out of Canada. Because he ain't straight out of America. Raphael Cruz is straight out of Canada. He was born in Canada. His name is Raphael. Your mama named you Raphael. I'm going to call you Raphael. You, sir, are a citizen of America's hat. And I don't know how you are allowed to be a United States, excuse me, a yet to be United States senator. Okay? That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. You want to go up here and you got a whole lot of smoke for Ketanji Brown Jackson. You got a whole lot of smoke for this lady who ain't did nothing but serve this country, who ain't did nothing but sit on the bench and judiciously interpret the law. Now, all of this smoke and vitriol you have for this woman, but you ain't have no vitriol for the same Donald Trump who went off on your wife, that young man, when he called your wife all kinds of insidious names. You were mum's the word. You said nothing. You ain't have no smoke for that young man, but you got all the smoke for Ketanji Brown Jackson over something that had nothing to do with her. Oh, you sit on the board for this school and they're teaching this book at this school. What? And he went. Now, here's the thing. Is the book being taught at the school? Absolutely not. Is it on a list of books that are approved that can be taught at the school? Sure. But if you go to that school and it's already been confirmed, there's not one time that that book has ever been taught at the school. There's not one lesson plan with it on there. There's nothing. But he's over here grandstanding. He done got big placards and bulletin boards of pages from the book, breaking it down. You ain't broke down. You over here breaking down a book meant for toddlers and preschoolers as if you are over here breaking down War and Peace. I mean, he got annotations. He got the little red little laser thing. He got his little staffers acting like Vanna White doing this and shit. Really? Really? You got all this time. Yet, when people in your own state of Texas, governed by Governor Hot Wheels over there, were freezing to death, you ain't have time for them. You was over there trying to go to Mexico to stay out of the cold while these people were over here freezing to death with no power. But you got all the smoke to break down a book intended for 4 and 5 year olds. That's y'all boy Raphael Cruz. Y'all's boy. Then he want to go back and forth with Dick Durbin. See, this is what I'm talking about. The weak ass Democrats. You know what I would have did? If I'm Dick Durbin, the chair, and this motherfucker don't want to shut up, and I'm the chair, and I told you your time is over, bitch, be quiet. First, your mic is gonna be muted. That's the first thing. Secondly, sir, you got 2 more words, and I'm gonna call for the Senate parliamentarian, and White House security to escort you out. Now you figure out what you're going to do. Because what we're not going to do is have you over here making a whole Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey circus in this place. But y'all over here and y'all play nicely with people who don't, y'all try to play nice with people who don't play nicely, which is why you have to see, you can't play nice with people who don't play nicely. And you have to meet their energy with that same energy. Because now you don't look like the noble person that didn't get loud with him. And you handled that professionally. No, you look like the weak person who now let somebody take over your meeting. And it's your job as chair to run this meeting and see to it that this meeting does not become this, and you couldn't even handle that. No, Tanya, he wasn't calling him Senator Coon. Senator Coons of Delaware was supposed to speak next. And that's why he kept saying Senator Coons, because it was Senator Coons' time to speak. And see, Senator Coons is better than me. Because when he told me it's my time, if I'm Senator Coons, hey, I would be like, hey, boo, you done had your time. Somebody mute his mic because it's my time. And I would have pulled Maxine, hey, he done took 45 seconds of my time. I'm reclaiming my time. I am reclaiming my time. Because I don't have time for the likes of Rafael Cruz, born and raised in America's hat. Y'all's boy. Y'all's boy. But this happens when you run around as senator of a state governed by Governor Hot Wheels. A mess. Then, on top of those two dick fucks, you had Josh Hawley. Now, let me break this down for y'all, okay? Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley, we know, had dealings with the terrorist attack on January 6th, 2021. This is documented. We know they had dealings with the terrorist attack on January 6th of 2021, where they tried to overthrow the government. But yet, they not only are still sitting members of Congress, y'all are sitting on one of the most important Senate committees. This is the Judiciary Committee. The Judiciary Committee is the committee that if there's impeachments and of the president, you know where it goes to first? It goes to the Judiciary Committee. Lifelong appointments in this country go through the Judiciary Committee. And you got two people who we know were directly involved with trying to overthrow the government on one of the most important Senate committees. Josh Hawley is over here screaming and going off on people as if he's the big bad boogeyman, and as if, he wears this cloak of, autonomy. Like, what bizarro world are they living in? You had a person directly involved with the overthrow of a government, and what does that government do to this person? Puts him in one of the most powerful branches of that government, the upper chamber of that branch. Then not only is he still a sitting senator, you put him on one of the most important committees and let him stay there and let him just do all types of horrible things like what we saw all week long. So now you give a grand stage to a terrorist. Nobody said nothing. Nobody saying anything. Y'all got Josh Hawley acting pious, righteous, and holier than thou in front of this young lady who probably has more knowledge of the United States government and more knowledge of United States law in her little finger than he has in his entire body. She done forgot more than he probably will ever know. Hey dog. Hey, hey, hey. What's going on? You're right. Oh, okay, because don't come over here by me. But get, this is bizarro world y'all got us living in. Bizarro world. Josh Howley is over here. Y'all got him over here like this is the Spanish Inquisition, and he's over here, just going off on this lady. Josh Howley. But y'all want us to take Congress and United States Senate seriously. Clowns. I ain't even got to go there on Tom Cotton. Tom Cotton is anyway. Let me get up off here because I don't went way over time. I'm sorry, really, B. I'm getting off. But thank God that is over. Their clown show is over. She will be confirmed. She will be a sitting Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the yet to be United States of America. Now, all we need is for Associate Justice Thomas to step into the light. Just go ahead. Go ahead and get your front row seat for Sean Pace's concert that she's having up there. Go ahead. You got a front row seat. We got you. Y'all got Josh Howley acting pious and holier than thou. Someone who we know was directly involved with a terrorist attack on this country, sitting on the Senate Judiciary Committee, excuse me. A mess. A mess. Hey Xavier. I'm getting off here, Xavier. It's really be time. I'm gonna let her have her time back. She's reclaiming her time. Reclaiming her time. But that's what y'all got going on. Will I have a silly Saturday on Saturday? Depends. I don't know. I might be out brunching or something. If you see me, look for me. If you don't look for me. I'll put a community post up. If I'm not doing one, I'll put a community post up. If I don't put a community post up, then I'm probably doing one. So, what's getting good? Anyway, that's our quick. This was a short, quick politics of it all. A short one. I knew I had that much time. I don't want to take up really be time. This is our regular time. So yeah. Hey Karen Alexander. We're gonna go off list as I always say. I love y'all. I love on y'all. I missed y'all. I know I've missed you too. Excuse me, but like I said, I love y'all. I love on y'all. Thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. They are much obliged and much appreciated. Tabitha, tell me if you got that story about the sitting member of Congress that is now a convicted felon that they're calling to resign. Representative Fortenberry, Jeff Fortenberry out of Nebraska. Because I don't know if I saw that on your timeline today. I thought I was going to see that on your timeline today. So, yeah. Anyway, y'all, We about to get out here. We partying in these Miami streets. We is in these good streets. Like I always say, I love y'all, love on y'all, all of that. We is in these good Miami streets, honey. Anyway, that's all I got for y'all. Until next time, thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. We out.